Hello guys, welcome to Career Training Solutions and myself Mohan Rajamani. If you are preparing for Infosys Campus Drive, then definitely you are at right point, because in this video I'm not going to share you only Infosys last year questions but also some tips, tricks as well as strategies for your last mile preparation for cracking your Infosys Campus Drive with confidence. So this is not just a video, so this is my last 5 years experience. I'm going to share you everything as well as some materials for clearing Infosys. So definitely this is going to be a productive session for you. Don't skip any part and watch the video till the end. So I have divided this video into two parts. At first part, we are going to discuss Infosys aptitude questions, and I will be giving you some strategies for clearing your Infosys with good marks. And in second part, we are going to learn verbal ability from our master trainer Janani madam. Okay, here we have the first question. None these attempts a question paper that has 3 parts with 6 questions each. If he has to attempt any 8 questions, choosing at least 2 questions from each part, then in how many ways can he attempt the paper? So if you want, you can pause the video and try it for some time, maybe a minute or two, then you can play the video. Okay, now what is given in this question? So in a question paper, we have 3 parts, or we have 3 sections. So section 1 and section 2 and section 3. And in each section, we have 6 questions, right? So it carries 6 questions each. If he has to attempt any 8 questions, so totally we have how many questions? 6 plus 6 plus 6, 18 questions. Out of this 18 questions, he want to attend only 8 questions, choosing at least 2 questions from each part. So from each part, he have to choose at least 2 questions, and totally he want to choose 8 questions from these 3 parts. So in how many ways he can attend the paper? So this is our question. Okay, now we can check the total number of combinations, because when you take Infosys question paper. So here I'm going to give you some tips for clearing your Infosys aptitude. So you will be getting 10 questions and total time is 35 minutes. That means on average, you will be getting 3.5 minutes per question. So the level of difficulty will be very high. So you have to get a 6 to 7 marks. So that is your cutoff mark, right? So if you want to get that cutoff mark, definitely you must have ample practice and you have some repeating topics, right? So I will list these topics here. So permutation and combination is very important topic. You can expect 1 to 2 questions from permutation and combination out of the 10 questions. And the probability is also an important concept, right? And very important concept is mixtures and alligation. So every year they are consistently asking a question from mixtures and alligation, right? So that is very important. And you can expect a question from time and work or time, speed, and distance. So these topics are really important in your Infosys aptitude, as well as you can expect a question from Crypt Arithmetic. So people used to think Crypt Arithmetic is really a difficult topic. It is not like that. See, I made a separate video for Crypt Arithmetic. See, I will be attaching all the materials, that is video materials, in description. So please have a look at it. And that is definitely going to be helpful for clearing your Infosys examination, and that is going to give you an idea on what kind of question you can expect for your examination, right? Okay, so these questions are really important and remaining questions are miscellaneous. You can expect questions from any topic. Okay, and I made n number of videos for Infosys. I'm going to attach all the links in description. Please have a look at it. It's going to change your life, right? Okay, now coming to question. So you have 3 sections, section number 1, section number 2, and section number 3. Totally, you have 3 sections and totally you have 18 questions. Now, I'm going to write all the combinations. So how I'm going to attend the question? See, I can attend 2 questions from section 1 and 3 questions from section 2 and 3 questions from section 3. So totally 2 plus 3 plus 3, 8 questions I attended. Or I can attend in the following way. So I can attend 2 questions from section 1, 2 questions from section 2, and 4 questions from section 3. Now you might wonder, so why it is 2, 3, 3? For example, it could be 3, 2, 3 or 3, 3, 2, right? And if you take this, so it could be 2, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 2, right? So we don't want to consider everything. So here we have a shortcut. So the shortcut is from 6. And if you look for any other combinations other than 2, 3, 3 and 2, 2, 4, it is not available. So you have only this option. Okay, now you have 6 questions, right? So in section 1, you have 6 questions. From that 6, you have to select 2 questions. So in how many ways it is possible? In 62 ways it is possible. And from section 2, you have to select 3 questions, right? So from 6 questions, you have to select 3 questions. And from section 3, you have to select 3 questions from 6 questions. Now 62 into 63 and 63. So this is the combination of selecting 2 questions, 3 questions and 3 questions. Now you have how many ways of selecting 2, 3, 3? So you have 3 ways, right? So just multiply this by 3. So why you are multiplying with 3? So it can be 2, 3, 3, or it can be 3, 2, 3, or it can be 3, 3, 2. Right? So instead of writing separately and adding, so you can just multiply it by 3. So this is your first combination. And what is your second combination? So from 6 questions, you can select 2 questions. So how you can select? In 6 C2 ways you can select. And from these 6 questions, you can select 2 questions. So this can be done in 6 C2 ways. And from 6 questions, you can select 4 questions. So this is possible in 6 C4 ways. Now you have to multiply this by 3 because it can be 2, 2, 4. From section 1, it is 2. From section 2, it is 2. From section 3, it is 4. Or it can be 2, 4, 2. Or it can be 4, 2, 2. You can select 4 questions from section 1, 2 questions from section 2, and 2 questions from section 3. So if you solve this, you will get the answer. So if you solve 6C2, so you have 6 here and 2 here. So what is 6C2? So you have to reduce the 6 factorial for 2 places because you have 6C2. So it is 6 into 5 by 2 into 1. So if you cancel this, you get 3 into 5, 15. So 6C2 value is 15. And what is 6C3 value? So 6 into 5 into 4 by 3 into 2 into 1. So cancel this 5 into 4, 20. So you can multiply this by 20 and you have another 6C3. So it is another 20 into 3 plus. Now you have 6C2 here. So again you get a 15 and you have another 6C2. So again you will get a 15. And what is 6C4? And value of 6C4 is equivalent to what? Value of 6C2. See, difference between 6 and 4 is 2, right? So 6C4 is equivalent to 6C2. And what is difference of 6C2? Difference of 6 and 2, 4. So value of 6C2 equal to 64. That means 64 and 62, you will get the same answer. Now we know 6C2 is equivalent to 3 into 5, 15, right? So you have to solve this to get the answer. So 15 into 20 into 20. See, 20 into 20, 40, 40 into 50, what? So 40 into 50, you get 6,000. 6,000 into 3, you get 18,000. So in first case, you will be getting 18,000. Now next, it is 15 into 15 into 15. So we know 15 into 15 is 225. Yeah, it's a technical issue. So we know 15 into 15 into 15 is 3375, right? So 15 into 15 cube is 3375. You have to multiply that by 3. So what is 3375 into 3? So 3375 into 3, you get 5 into 3, 15, 7 into 3, 21. So it is 22, 3 into 3, 9 plus 2, it is 11, carry over 1, 3 into 3, 9. 9 plus 1, it is 10. So it is 10125. Right? So you have to add it. So if you add it, you get how much? So it is 28,125. So 28,125 is the total number of ways of attending 8 questions in this question paper. And see, when it comes to Infosys, you can't expect only multiple choice questions, right? So some people will do inky, ponky and write the questions, but it won't work in Infosys case because you can expect fill in the blanks kind of questions, right? So they will give you a dash and you have to fill the answer and they will ask you to write up to 2 decimal places. For example, if it is 74.23, you have to type 74.23. So if you type 74.20, then your answer goes wrong. So accuracy is very, very important in Infosys questions, right? So that is mandatory. So answer for this question is 28,125. And I said question from permutation and combination is very important. You can expect a question from permutation and combination. So if you want a detailed view of permutation and combination, I have attached the link in description. Please look at it, pursue well. Okay, now here you have the next question. Find the number of ways of arranging the letter of the word calendar in such a way that exactly 2 letters are present between L and D. So you have the word calendar. So it is how many lettered word? CALENDAR. So you have to arrange the letters of the word calendar, right? So there should be only 2 letters between L and D. So it is how many lettered word? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lettered word. So I mark 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dash. Because if you jumble these 8 letters, you will get a 8 letter word only. For example, if you jumble ABC, so you will get only a 3-letter word. So you will get BAC or CAB like that. So you will be getting only 3-letter words, right? So if you jumble these 8 letters, you will be getting an 8-letter word only. But what is the condition? So the condition is you have to get 2 letters L and D, and there should be 2 letters present between them. So for example, if you place L here, you can place D here. So there should be 2 letters. And if you place L here, you can place D here, right? So there should be 2 letters. Likewise, you can place L here and D here. And you can place L here and D here. You can place L here and D here. So totally, how many possibilities are there? So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So you have 5 combinations where you can paste L and D, right? So first I write that 5. So it is not, so it is not mandate. It is only LD. You can also arrange this LD like this. So first place you can get D. For example, instead of this LD, it could be DL also, right? So that is also another possibility. So everywhere you can make this LD as DL, right? So DL, 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 DL. So it is 5 into 2. So first I fixed L and D here, right? After that, I have to fix the remaining letters. So after fixing L and D in 10 ways, I'm left with how many more letters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 letters. So the 6 letters can be arranged in 6 factorial ways. But look at this. You have A repeated for 2 times. So when there is a repetition, what you have to do? You have to divide that. So here A repeated for 2 times, you have to divide the 6 factorial by 2 factorial. So you multiply this here. So it is 6 factorial by 2 factorial. I believe you understood why it is 6 factorial by 2 factorial into 5 into 2. So L and D can be arranged in 5 ways. So you can fix L and D in 5 ways, and this L and D can swap their positions in 2 ways. So L and D in 5 ways, and we can swap in 2 ways. So it is 5 into 2. You can fix this L and D in 10 ways. And you have remaining 6 letters. So that can be arranged in 6 factorial ways after placing these 2 letters first. So you have letter A repeated for 2 times. So for that, you have to divide that A by 2 factorial. That means 6 factorial by 2 factorial. Now cancel this, you will get the answer. So what is 6 factorial? So 6 factorial is 720, and 2 factorial value is 2 into 5 into 2. Now cancel this. So it is 360. So 5 into 2, 10. So 360 into 5 into 2, you get how much? 5 into 2, 10, right? So it is 3600. So answer for this question is 3600. So in 3600 ways, you can arrange letters of the word calendar where you will have 2 letters between L and D. Hope you are clear. Okay, now moving to third question. In a field, each cow eats twice as much as grass as each goat. The cost of grass for 10 cows and 40 goats for 20 days is rupees 1800. Find the cost of grass for 20 cows and 10 goats for 18 days in rupees. So this question is based on time and work, right? So we have discussed time and work problems for sufficient number of times, but this concept base is very important because this kind of questions often repeats in Infosys. So what is the concept base? So we know this question is based on group efficiency. For example, we have 4 men. So these 4 men will complete the job in 32 days. Now our question, in how many days 16 men will complete the same job? For this, we have a structure. So the structure is M1 number of men working for D1 days. Each days they work for H1 hours to complete W unit of work. So man, days, hours, work. And this is equivalent to M2 number of men working for D2 days, H2 hours to complete W unit of work. So here, in first case, we have 4 men working for 32 days. We don't have anything about hours and work, so you can skip it. And in second case, we have 16 men, and you have to find in how many days they will complete the work. Now, you can cancel this. So 16 times 2, you get 32. So 4 into 2, 8. Now you get 8. What is this 8? So the 16 men will complete the job in 8 days. So that is the actual meaning. So you can follow the same structure for this question. So you have to understand this question is from time and work, right? Now, each cow eats twice as much as grass as each goat. So cows eat twice as that of goat. So in what ratio they eat? They eat in the ratio 2:1. The cost for 10 cows and 40 goats for 20 days is 1800. So for 10 cows plus 40 goats for 20 days, we have to pay 1800. Now what is this 1800? So 1800 is the work here. So why we have to keep it as work? Because for the 10 goats and 40 cows, 10 cows and 40 goats for 20 days, we have to pay 1800. So 1800 is the amount, the work you have to calculate here. So the 1800 is the work here. So you have to put that 1800 at the base denominator, right? Now, this is equivalent to what? So you have to find the cost of grass for 20 cows and 10 goats for 18 days. Now just equate it. So in second group efficiency, we have 20 cows and 10 goats, right? And you are keeping this for how many days? 18 days. And you have to find how many rupees you have to pay for this. And you have C and G, you have two variables. And we know cow eat twice that of goats, right? So we can keep this efficiency for C and G. So 10 into, so cow eat twice that of goats. So instead of C, put 2. And instead of G, put 1 into 20 divided by 1800 equivalent to 20 into C is 2 plus 10 into G is 1 into 18 divided by question mark. So 10 into 2, 20 plus 40, you get 60. 60 into 2 is 1200. So it is 1200 divided by 1800 equivalent to, so 20 into 2, 40, 40 plus 10, 50, 50 into 18. What is 50 into 18? You get 900. So 900 divided by question mark. Now cancel this 0, 0. And this is in sixth table 2 times, in sixth table 3 times, and this is 450. So what is 450 into 3? So question mark equal to 450 into 3. So 5 into 3, 15, and 1, 1350. So we get 1350 rupees. So 1350 rupees is the cost of grass for 20 cows and 10 goats for 18 days. So this becomes our answer. See, I'm going to attach the link of time and work in description. So please have a look at it if you don't know the concept. So this kind of questions are really, really important. Now moving to next question of this session. Two alloys X and Y contain gold and copper in the ratio 5:11 and 3:5 respectively. If equal weights for the two alloys are melted together to form third alloy, find the ratio of the weight of gold and copper in third alloy. So this question looks like a little big, right? But you can solve these questions in just 30 seconds if you know the concept. It is very, very simple actually. So if you want, you can pause the video and take 50 seconds, try to solve this problem. Okay, now you have two alloys, X and Y. And in X, you have gold and copper in the ratio 5:11. And in alloy Y, you have gold and copper in the ratio 3:5. Now, if equal weights of two alloys are melted together to form a third alloy. So if you take 1 kilogram from X, you have to take 1 kilogram from Y. So if you take 100 kilogram from X, you have to take 100 kilogram from Y. So what we can do, you have to mix in equal weights, right? Now we know you have 5 plus 11, 20 units here. So totally, I'm sorry, it is 16 units, right? I'm very sorry. So it is 16 units. So 5 plus 11, you totally have 16 units of alloy X. Now, if you take Y, you have only 8 parts, right? So 3 plus 5, 8 parts. Now, you can make this 8 parts 16. So what you can do, you can multiply this by 2. So if you multiply this by 2, 3 into 2 is 6 parts. 5 into 2 is 10 parts. So totally you have how many parts now? 16 parts. Now, if you take 16 kilogram from alloy X, you have to take 16 kilogram from alloy Y. Now just add it, you will get the third alloy, right? So weight of gold and copper in third alloy. So if you add X plus Y, you get 5:11. This is X, and for Y it is 6:10. Add it, you get 11:21. So this is your answer. See how easy the question is. You will be getting this kind of bonus question in Infosys as well, right? So you can score easily, and you can expect question from numbers also, that is from simplification. So in Infosys, we can call this quantitative part as cognitive ability. So you will be getting some puzzle questions, coding and decoding question. Also, you can expect in this quantitative aptitude. You might wonder, so this will happen in reasoning ability, right? So you can also questions in cognitive ability, right? Now moving to next question. I mean to say you can expect coding and decoding question in cognitive ability. So you can expect any kind of question. So this happened last year in 2021 batch. So they clubbed it as cognitive ability and they asked reasoning questions also, right? So wait for unexpected. Now moving to next question. Between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. at what time minute hand and hour hand will make a 60 degree? So we have a formula to solve this problem, but I'm not going to explain any formula. So we can solve this problem using concept base. And many of us don't know clock concept is working on the principle of relative speed, that is time, speed and distance. You can expect a question from clocks because clocks is very important concept for Infosys. That's the reason I have included a clock question here, right? So you can expect similar kind of question in Infosys. Okay, now how can we solve this problem easily? See, between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. at what time hour hand and minute hand will make a 60 degree? Okay. Now, I'm wasting much time, right, by drawing this picture. Okay. Meanwhile, we can discuss some facts related to clocks. So in clocks, you have 3 needles, but you have to consider only 2 needles. So first one is the minute hand, that is the bigger one. And second one is the hour needle, the smaller one, right? Now we know exactly at 8 o'clock, what is the angle between minute needle and hour needle? Now the total angle of the clock is 360 degree and you totally have 12 subdivisions. So angle between each subdivision is 30 degree. So between 12 to 8, you have how many subdivisions? 8 subdivisions. So 8 into 3, 24. So you have 240 degree here. And if you take this is how many degrees? So you have how many subdivisions between 8 and 12? So it is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is how many degrees? So it is 4 into, 30. It is 120 degrees. So it is 120 degrees and this is 240 degrees. Now, in 1 minute, we know this minute needle will make a full circle in 60 minutes, right? So in 60 minutes, it will cover 360 degrees. So in 1 minute, it will cover 360 by 60, 6 degrees per minute. So this is speed of the minute needle. And what is speed of the hour needle? It will cover, this small needle will make a full round in 12 hours, right? So in 12 hours, it will cover 360 degree. So in 1 hour, it will cover 360 by 12, 30 degree. So 1 hour is 60 minutes, right? So 60 minutes, it will cover 30 degree. So in 1 minute, it will cover how many degree? 30 by 60, half a degree. So in 1 minute, this minute needle will cover 6 degree. And this hour needle will cover half a degree. Since I explained this clock concept already in our YouTube channel, just I'm running like that. So if you want, I have attached that clock concept in description. You can run it for ample number of time and understand the clock concept well, because you can expect this kind of question as well. Okay. Now, in 1 minute, the minute needle will cover 6 degree. In 1 minute, the hour needle will cover half a degree. Now, both the needles are moving in same direction, right? So what is the relative speed? So when both the objects are moving in same direction, to find the relative speed, so it is 6 degree minus half degree, right? So speed of the faster moving object minus speed of the slower moving object, that is 11 by 2 degree per minute. So this is the relative speed. Now, what we are going to calculate? At what time it will make 60 degree? So time equal to distance by speed. Now see, to make a 60 degree, this minute needle have to cover how many degrees? What angle it have to cover? So from this 12, it have to cover this 6. Then only angle between this hour needle and minute needle will be how many degrees? 60 degrees. Yeah, that will be 60 degrees. Now, when this minute needle moves, definitely the hour needle will also move. That's the reason we are calculating what? Relative speed. So we have a shortcut. So time you have to calculate. So time equal to distance by speed. So what is the distance this minute needle have to cover? So this minute needle have to cover 180 degree, right? So it is 180 degree is the total distance it have to cover. Now, what is the speed? So for speed, we have to take the relative speed. That is 11 by 2 degree per minute, right? So 11 by 2 degree per minute. Now we can reciprocate. We get 360 degree divided by 11 degree, right? So when you reciprocate, you get 360 by 11. So what is 360 degree divided by 11? Now 3 into 11 is 33, and it is 30, and 2 times 22, and you get 8. So in simple, you can say it is 32. So you have to write this in mixed fraction. So 32, 8 divided by 11 minutes. So at 8 o'clock, 32, 8 by 11 minutes, it will make a 60 degree. And you will get 60 degree for 2 times. See, at this point, you will get a 60 degree, right? At 8 o'clock, 32 minutes, 8 by 11, you will get a 60 degree, and you will get one more 60 degree. So what is that one more 60 degree? So when this minute needle crosses this hour needle, and if it is at this 10, right, you will get another 60 degree, right? Yes or no? You will get another 60 degree. So here also you will get an 60 degree. Now, to reach this place, this minute needle at 8 o'clock, we know the minute needle pointing to 12. Now, to reach this 10, it have to cover how many degrees? So to make you clear, I will use a different color. So it have to move from this point, right? From this point to this point. It have to cover how many degrees? From 12 to 10. So we have how many subdivisions? We have 10 subdivisions. So 10 into 30 degree. You know, one subdivision is 30 degree. So we have 10 subdivisions. From this 12 to 10, it have to cover 300 degrees, right? During the 300 degrees, the minute needle as well as hour needle will move. So again, we are going to use the same relative speed concept, right? So time equal to what is the distance it have to cover to reach this point, the minute needle. So it have to cover 300 degrees divided by what is the relative speed? So every time you have to use only relative speed. So it is 11 by 2 degree per minute. Now it is 600 divided by 11 degree per minute. So 600 by 11, how much we get? So 600 by 11. So it is 5 times 11, 55, and it is again 50, and 4 times 11, 44. Remainder you get 6. And you can write this in mixed fraction now. Now it is 54, 6 by 11 minutes. At 8 o'clock, 54, 6 by 11 minutes, it will make another 60 degree. So you have two answers for this question because they are asking 60 degree, right? So for your understanding, I will draw a picture like this, right? So it's 8 and this is 6. So here you will get 160 degree, and this is 8 and this is 10. So here you will get another 60 degree, right? So you have two options. That's the reason we are getting two answers. Hope you are clear, right? See, we have discussed the detailed concept of clocks and calendars, and I include the description. I mean, included the link in description. Please have a look at all the videos and practice well for your Infosys. So cracking Infosys is very simple. You have only 5 sections. So please listen to these tips. Definitely it is going to be helpful for you. See, you have only 5 sections. Okay. Yeah, I will write it here. Yeah, I will write it here. You have only 5 sections. So first section is aptitude. So level of difficulty will be very high. That is your quants part. You get only 10 questions, but the total time is 35 minutes. That means for solving each question, you have 3.5 minutes. Now just imagine the level of difficulty. It will be definitely high. And I told you, you can expect promising questions from these topics: permutation, combination, probability, time, speed and distance, time and work, mixture and alligation. So this is the constant topic. You can expect 5 questions from this, as well as you can expect questions from Crypt Arithmetic. And what could be the cutoff? You have to score a 60 to 70%. So this is the standard cutoff. That means you have to score 6 out of 7 marks in this quantitative part. Now coming to your logical reasoning, you will be getting a 15 questions, right? So your reasoning ability, you will be getting a 15 questions. Now getting out of 15, you can expect a 60% clearance, right? So 60% clearance in the sense you have to score and 60 to 70%. So you can score an 8 to 9 marks. So what is the questions? What kind of questions you can expect in logical reasoning? So definite questions from reasoning ability is syllogism. Now, if you look in websites, definitely you could see syllogism question with some statements and conclusion. Usually what we do in syllogism is we will look statements and we try to derive the conclusion. But in Infosys, they will ask reverse syllogism. So they give you conclusions and what are all the possible statements. So this is completely reverse, right? You must have a very good understanding on the concepts of syllogism to solve Infosys, right? I mean, to solve the questions in Infosys, right? So syllogism is really important. You can expect a 3 to 5 questions. So this carries high weightage and you can expect questions from data interpretation in the reasoning part. So that could be around 3 to 5 marks, right? So if you get 5 questions, definitely you can score 10 marks in this reasoning ability itself, as well as you can expect questions from coding, decoding, direction sense, as well as blood relation. So they are miscellaneous topic. You can expect questions from that, and you can expect a question from number series. So number series is very, very important, not only for Infosys. So this is our tradition. You can expect a question from number series in all campus interviews. This is very important topic, right? So number series, you can expect a question from number series as well, right? Now, coming to your verbal part. So in verbal part, so the major, so verbal ability. So in verbal ability, you get 20 questions and the total time is 20 minutes. That means you have to take only 1 minute per question. So that's a problem, right? So if you want to solve one question in 1 minute, you have to be very proficient. You have to be very familiar with the principles of grammar, right? I have included the grammar link in description, right? So you will be getting a lot of synapses related to your grammar, right? So grammatical error. So you can expect that kind of question in your Infosys examination, as well as when it comes to reading comprehension, you can expect a 5 questions. So that is the most the time killing part of your Infosys verbal ability. So you will be getting around a two page passage, right? So if you take an 30 lines, right? So 30-line paper, you will be getting a 2-page passage like that. I mean, 2 pages passage like that. And you might expect question from choose the best answer. That means detecting the moral, theme detection. So that kind of questions are little difficult. You need more practice for that, and you have to understand what is tone of the passage. And I have attached 3 links for reading comprehension in description. So that is going to save your time, and Janani ma'am have given you sufficient practice on reading comprehension questions. So please have a look at that reading comprehension. That is going to save you. And next comes your puzzle. So puzzle is definitely an bonus part for you. So it is very easy if you know number series, right? So most of the questions from puzzle are from number series. So that is on quality of the numbers, right? So you will be getting some boxes and you have to fill the numbers, right? See, I have provided you sufficient video for puzzle solving. So Infosys puzzle solving, and I have included previous year questions. So for aptitude, reasoning, verbal, as well as puzzle. So we created n number of videos exclusively for Infosys. You can easily clear it if you prepare it from it. Now next comes your, so you will be getting 4 puzzles, right? So that is really, really simple. So we don't want to discuss much on it. So if you want, you have a reference video there. Okay, a reference video in description. Please click and watch it. And next comes your pseudocode. So people use it to perplex whether pseudocode is difficult or not. See, pseudocode is actually not a coding part. You will be getting 5 questions and the total time is 10 minutes. So 5 questions and 10 minutes. Actually, you don't want 10 minutes to solve 5 questions because it is only multiple choice question. You are not going to type any code. So you will be getting questions from C, C++, as well as OOPS concepts, right? So you will be getting only moderate level questions. So if you are from a different background, you are not from an IT or computer science background, you don't want to worry. If you know the programming logic, you can easily clear pseudocode, right? So you can get more questions from internet. So just type Infosys pseudocode. You will be getting more questions, right? And if possible, we will put pseudocode questions, right? So stay connected with CareerD. Definitely, we will put more questions on pseudocode, right, in upcoming days. So you can prepare from our channel itself. Now, when it comes to pseudocode, right? So if you know the syntax, like the concepts of arrays, and if you know the syntax for loops, right? So for loop, while loop, do loop. So if you know the looping concepts, and if you know the string and oops concept, that will save, that could give you some marks on pseudocode. So out of 4, it is very easy to clear five, I mean, out of five, you could clear at least three things. I mean, three pseudocodes. It is very easy, right? And I have attached all the links of Infosys previous year questions in description. Please have a look at it. And if you are preparing for Infosys campus interview, from my heart, I am wishing you really all the very, very best to get an offer in Infosys. And thanks a lot for your patience, and wait for our second part. We have Janani ma'am with us. She will be sharing you some tips related to your verbal, right? So thanks a lot. Have a great day.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Career Training Solutions. This is Janani Bhaskar, and here we are to discuss few questions on verbal aptitude, which is a part of your placement preparation. And this video is exclusively made for those who are preparing for Infosys, right? So here is the first question. The sentence given here has been divided into three parts, and you got to find which of the part has an error. And if you find no error in any of the three parts, then you can fix your answer as no error. Right now, beginning with it, do you know with whom are you speaking? She is an United States Senator. Now, this is the entire sentence, and option 3 tells you that it's a no error. Right? So, which of these parts has error? Right now, that's the question. Now, it's very easy. Okay, always remember that you have to think twice before choosing the option as no error. And you can always start from checking your options with tenses and articles, which are the very basic forms of errors that can be found in a sentence correction. So here the error is done in an article and. Right? And is an article which is used before a vowel sound and not before a vowel. Right? So though U is a vowel, here in the word united or university, it doesn't have a vowel sound as like it is an umbrella. Right? So it doesn't have a vowel sound. So here this cannot have the article and before it. So the error is option number 4. Right? Hope you've got it. So I'll move to the next question. Which of these can be used in the place of blank in the given sentence? The attorney wanted to expedite the process because her client. Okay, now you got to fill the blank, right? The options are became impatient, had become impatient, was becoming impatient. Right now, it's the sentence clearly states the attorney wanted to expedite the process. So this denotes something that the verb is in V2 form of verb, right? So this is in a past tense, right? And if it is became impatient, then that becomes like something that is not in connection with the present. So this tense cannot be rightly placed here. Right. And also, if you choose option 4 was becoming, then that's a continuous tense, and you don't find any idea of having a continuous tense here in the sentence. So the answer is had become impatient, which is the right form of verb that can be used to fill the blank. Right? Hope you've understood. Moving to the next question, which of these sentences does not appropriately use the future perfect tense? Okay, now when your question is based on tenses, always remember the syntax of all the 12 tenses, which is also available in one of the videos that's there in the channel. So if you want, you can please check it out. So future perfect tense will have the syntax as will plus have plus V3 form of verb, right? So V3 form of verb, you might know what it is. If the word is write, then V2 will be wrote and V3 will be written, right? And the syntax of future perfect tense will be will plus have plus V3. Now just check which of these options has that. Okay, but the question says which of these sentences does not appropriately use. So any sentence that does not follow this syntax will fall into the category of being the right answer. Okay, now check it out. Would have joined. So will or would have joined. So this follows that. Would have gone to. That also follows. It has been raining. Now this is totally irrelevant to future perfect tense. And option 4 is obviously falling in the, it's the exact syntax of what we need in a future perfect tense. So ruling out option 1, 2, and 4, we are left with option 3. So obviously the answer is that. It has been raining continuously since yesterday. And this is the syntax of present continuous tense. And the syntax of present continuous tense will be has or have plus been plus V1ing, right? Now, this is the syntax of present perfect, which is in option 3, and so that does not fall under future perfect tense. So the answer is option 3. Hope you've understood. Moving to the next question. Fill the blank with the most appropriate idiom or phrase. So idioms or phrases are something which, it's coming under the knowledge of Bloom's taxonomy. So you must actually know few idioms. And here she still seems a blank about the argument she had with a friend last week. Okay, now the sentence closely means that she's still angry or she's still not convinced kind of state, right? The sentence means that. Now, which of these following idioms mean very closely to be angry or to be still in that bad mood or bad temper? So the answer is actually to have a chip on her shoulder, right? So that's the answer, which means to be still pondering on the same thing, to be still angry on the same thing. So the answer is to have a chip on her shoulder. However, the meaning of the other three are totally irrelevant to it. Unable to cut the mustard is unable to achieve something, right? So that's the thing. And to be at daggers drawn is to be at the wrong side of something, right? And also to be a chip of the old block is quite similar to be at daggers drawn, that is not being in a state where you are actually expected to be, right? So that's the meaning of options 3 and 4. So the right idiom to be filled with the blank is to have a chip on her shoulder. Your next question. Without proper advertising and a marketing strategy, there is no chances that they can succeed in the business. And the highlighted one is there is no chance, right? Now just find out which of these options can replace the highlighted one. Well, now remember, is a verb and chance is a noun, right? So this should be satisfied, which is the very basic rule of subject verb agreement, right? So if you're going to choose is, then you must have chance, or if you're going to choose are, then you must have chances. Only then subject and verb are in the same number. So subject verb agreement will get satisfied. So in that case, there is no chances, right? So is is singular, chances is plural. So obviously this is not right. There are no chances for, right? Now the conjunction used here is for, which is not appropriate for the given statement. However, subject verb agreement is satisfied, but it's not appropriate. I mean, it's not having an appropriate conjunction. So I'll have to rule out option number 2 as well. Now there can be no chance, right? So now the modal verb is unnecessary here. So that's also ruled out. And finally, there is no chance that. Now is unchance, subject verb agreement satisfied, and that is the right conjunction. So obviously the right option is going to be option number 4, right? So when it comes to verbal, unlike your quants or reasoning, you are not solving and getting the answer, right? All you're doing is you just look at the options to choose one. In that case, you're not supposed to treat any answer as a right one. Like, see, for example, if you see option A and if you're convinced with that, don't judge that answer to be the right way, right? Always make sure you treat all the 4 options in an unbiased way. Make sure that you are not deciding anything before you read all the 4 options. Treat every option as a wrong option. And when it is, when I say treat every option as wrong answer, I mean, give a reason to know for yourself why that option is wrong. Rule out option A with a proper reason. Rule out another option with a proper reason. As you keep processing this, what happens is there will be one option which you cannot actually rule out. right? So obviously that would be the right answer. Now that's the secret, or that's the technique that you must use to solve any verbal reasoning or verbal aptitude question. So in that way, yeah, I use the similar pattern of solving here. So the answer is going to be option number 4. The next question. Drug addiction and alcohol abuses are not something totally new in Indian society. They've been there for quite some time. Okay, so they've been there for quite some time, which means it's still in progress, right? So it is still a continuous tense, right? So continuous, it is still a problem. So the one that is very closely, appropriate to mean that it is still, you have option number 1 and option number 4. Okay. And when you choose option number 1, the word even is unnecessary, right? And we are talking about only one problem. So the plural is not needed. So the answer is a persisting problem, right? So obviously we are left with option number 4. So ruling out the other options, I get to settle with option number 4. Well, the next question is this. You got to choose the right one. The survivors of tsunami live in a world that has been turned upside down because of all the destructions and loss. Well, now when you happen to see such questions, the first thing that you must do is to identify the difference in among all the 4 sentences. Now listen. Okay, the survivors of tsunami is a common one. Okay, live in a world that's been turned upside down, is living in a world, lives in a world with, do live in a world because. Okay, now the one that I have marked with brackets show you the place where you undergo a difference in every sentence. Okay, but what is the subject? The subject is survivors, which is plural, right? So in that case, okay, for a verb, we know that in subject verb agreement, if subject is singular, verb should also be singular. And for a verb to be singular, it should end with s, right? A singular verb ends with yes. Okay, so survivors is plural, the subject is plural. So whichever option has a singular verb, I can easily eliminate, right? Now listen. Looking at option 2, survive as plural, is living, right? So here it's plural, here it's singular. So rule this out. And survive as plural, lives. Again, this is ending in yes, making it a singular verb. So this is also ruled out. Now we are left with option 1 and 4. Okay, now let's check that. So survivors of tsunami live in a world that has been turned upside down, and here it is. They do live in a world that has been turned upside out. Okay, so it's a phrasal verb error. Upside down is the right preposition, whereas upside out is the wrong preposition. So ruling out that also, I end up settling with the answer option number 1. Right? So ruling out all the other 3 options with an appropriate reason lets me decide the right answer in a more clear way, right? So the answer is option number 1. Hope you've understood this. Again, you're going to identify the correct sentence with these 4 options. And first, pause the video and note down the differences among all the 4 sentences. So the differences are their patience. So the topic here is, and the singular one here, it's cases. Okay. So this deals with possessive pronoun. Okay. And we know in a possessive pronoun, you should have an apostrophe s. For example, let's take a name John. Okay. This pen, I'm sorry. This pen is John's. Okay, but this is how we usually write. But imagine a name that ends with yes. For example, Harris. Okay, if the name itself ends in yes, then you need not put an apostrophe under s, rather stop it only with the apostrophe. So this pen is Harris and an apostrophe. That's it. Now this is how you write a possessive pronoun, and the same thing goes for your plural nouns as well. Right now, patience is a plural word, right? So whenever you use a possessive pronoun for the word patience, that's a plural one. So you write the word patience and end it with an apostrophe and no yes after that. Okay. And which of these options is very appropriate with respect to this? It's not an option number one, not an option number two, not an option number three, but in option number four, you do have this. Right? So the right answer is option number 4. Hope you understood this. The next question. Sandra and John likes to go for picnics on weekends. Nevertheless, Kia does not. Likes to go. They both likes to go. Okay, now look at the second option. You have two people, but the verb is likes, which is singular. So very blindly, you can rule this option out because the first ever rule of subject verb agreement fails. So that's ruled out. Now the other three options. Sandra and John like going on picnics. Now it's not going on picnics, and here it's like to go for picnics, and here also like to go for picnics, right? So the preposition on is wrongly used, so rule out this also. So we have solid reasons to eliminate option number 2 and 3, which means we are left with only option 1 and 4. And what's the difference? The difference is conjunction. Although Sandra and John like to go for picnics, Sandra and John like to go for picnics on weekends. Nevertheless, Kia does not. Whereas here, the one used is although. Now, option number 4 conveys a meaning that Kia has a negative tone here, right? Though they like, Kia is the hindrance, right? So that is how the sentence projects the meaning, which is not a very, kind notion of giving an information. That usually isn't the way of giving an information, right? So considering the fact that it is not a formal or this is not more professional, I rule this out, and so making option number A the best one, right? So when you're left with options where you are confused, like you feel both convey the same meaning, in that case try choosing a formal one. Of course there will be only one which is formal, not both, right? So be wise in eliminating the options. The answer for this question is option number 1. Hope that's clear. Okay, again, the same type of question, find out the difference. So is the lead scientist, was the lead scientist, is the lead scientist, is the lead scientist. Okay, that's the first difference. And okay, was means that's in plural form. This was a genetic engineering group. Okay. See, when you take option number 1, we know there is an error called parallelism, which means the sentence should have a parallel structure of having tenses, which means the sentence under many circumstances or under certain conditions, it should have similar pattern of tenses followed, right? Look at option number 1, you have is here and you have was here, making this option not following the parallelism error. I mean, parallelism rule, right? So I'm ruling that out. Now, second one, both you have in both the tenses are past tense. So there is a wide chance that you can accept this. So hold on with it. And number third one, you have, which is a genetic engineering group. Okay. Well, Now that's in this one we can hold on. Now the third one in the semantic cell transfer research group, which is a genetic engineering group. Now, which is a genetic engineering group is also sounding better. So you can hold on with this as well. So the last one is the lead, but it was a genetic engineering. Now again, the parallel structure error is not followed, so rule this out as well. Now we are left with option number 2 and 3 only. Right now, the difference between 2 and 3 is that the usage of the conjunction. Here it is since, and here it is which. Right now, which is a relative pronoun pointing exactly to the noun preceding it. That is the noun which is before the word which. Now, before which you have cell transfer research group, which is a noun. So this is a formal one when compared to option number 2, where you have since. Now, since is a reasoning conjunction. It gives you the reason. Right now, that is not actually what we need. What we need is something that can point to the preceding noun. So it is which points to that. Yeah, which points to that. So obviously the answer is option number 3. Right, so this is the right answer. Option number 3. Michael is the lead scientist in semantic cell transfer research group, which is a genetic engineering group. Hope you've understood that. Moving to the next question. That's easy. The meaning of the word raconteur is someone who is very skilled in giving you stories. Probably your grandmother is a good raconteur, right? Someone who's very good in telling stories. Anecdotes are very similar to stories. So the right one is option number C, right? So that's the answer. Moving to the next question. Nobody can help a person come out of depression and gloom. You have a big blank, or take the help of psychiatrists and medicines. Okay, now look at the options, and then very easily you can conclude that the word you find in the question is or, okay, which is a correlating conjunction. Okay, now correlating conjunction, as the word relating means it has two words in it. For example, either or, neither nor, not only but also. Right now, all these are examples of correlating conjunctions. So now very easily identify an option which has either in it, because you have or, right? So that's a correlating conjunction. So you must have either. So the option that rightly has it is number 1. So either the person should have willpower or take the help of psychiatrists and medicines. So the right one is option number 1. The next question is this. Jones was admitted to the hospital with sharp chest and shoulder pain. Though the ECG was normal, the doctors concluded that. Right? So concluded is a past tense. So they've done that. They've finished concluding that he is having heart attack. He may have had an heart attack. Had an heart attack, must have had a heart attack. Now, which one sounds really correct? You have a simple V2 form of verb. Now, whichever option has a very simple V2 form, here it is present continuous, right? Here have had is past perfect. Have had is still past perfect. So the right answer is option number 3, had an heart attack. Guys, I repeat it. There is a video available only to remember this syntax of all the 12 tenses, and that will be really helpful for you to answer such questions. As you can see, most of your questions are completely based on tenses, which play a very important role when it comes to sentence correction, right? So please make sure to watch the video and remember the syntax in a way that you want to, which will really be helpful for you to solve such questions. Okay. Next one. Gina plays tennis. That's easy question. Just merely by looking at it, you very easily settle with the option number 1, enthusiastically in the club, right? Whichever other option you choose, that's not having a grammatically right format. On the club is a wrong preposition. Having enthusiasm in the club is a modifier error. right? Enthusiasm is in the game and not in the club, right? So there is a misplaced modifier, and enthusiastically with the club. Again, the wrong conjunction is used here. So all the options are eliminated. The right one is option one. Okay. And the last question. Does she already in public relations, the company decided to hire her? Okay, already means it is in past tense. So which has a past tense? Had little experience. So that's it. The answer is option number two. Right? Hope you have understood all these questions that we have discussed. Now, see, as mentioned, there are few videos in the channel that you have for verbal reasoning or verbal aptitude. So please stay connected with us and try learning many questions and try practicing many questions so that you find it easy when it comes to your exam. Right? So wish you all the best. Thank you so much.